Okay.
Here we go.
It's three of us. It's Javier, Agata, and myself. Agata will do the graphic recording. Javier is a co-facilitator, and I'm doing the facilitation together with Javier. And today it's really all about business models, but we will not cover the whole business model canvas as defined by Alex Osterwalder. We just pick some pieces out of it because otherwise it wouldn't be sufficient to have it 1 hour only. And I think the most important point what we cover is really what are the value propositions we have as visual practitioners for our clients. So they're the most obvious ones, like doing graphic recordings, facilitating, but maybe there's something else. Maybe we train people, we inspire people with talks, whatever's in your mind. So it's really about sharing this. Also talk about what are helpful alliances in the field and really how to grow a business from the beginning as a freelancer, maybe as a business where you have a network as freelancers, really share ideas, and also how it works in different regions of Europe. Maybe there are differences, maybe there are things we can really learn what works in a specific area of Europe might work perfectly as well in another location. So just to give you a quick introduction for myself before I hand over to Javier and Agata, and then we jump right into the topic. So basically, my name is Marko, and I'm co-founder of a company called Visual Selling, and we cover everything about visualizing the value a complicated product has for its clients. So we talk to the people, facilitate workshops, and find out what makes us a product special and visualize it. And then we sell it as a story. So sell the visual story and enable the people to tell it, to really differentiate from others in the market. I hand over to Javier. In between, I just check the attendees list and let the people in.
My name is Javier from the Basque Country. I am the founder of Iceberg Visual Consulting, and we mostly help organizations to visualize their past, present, future values, and somehow to communicate inwards, right, with their employees to better transfer all the information and somehow motivate them transferring the purpose of the company and making them aware of where they are and what are they expected to do or something like that.
To go in there, I already see we have two different ways of doing a business. So with mine is very focused on on a specific topic, while you are very wide. And I'm interested now in the others, how you are selling your value proposition or what it is. Maybe if you just type into the chat so that we collect some things, and then I ask people to explain a bit how you're doing it. If you have a specific thing, or just maybe saying you do illustrations for books, could be something, or you do really from one end until to the end of a specific process. So I think it would be very, very good to get a picture also how you sell yourself. Just in between, while you're typing, we have Agata here, and she's doing a graphic recording of the session, I think, which is very valuable because you already saw it, or when you listen to it, it's so many information, and we could never have that all tracked, even if it's recorded. It's hard to work with that. So great, Agata. It's good to have you in there. If you just give a short introduction of yourself while the others are typing in what they sell to their customers, if it's a wide product or very small level. So just introduce yourself, Agata.
Hi guys, I'm Agata from Poland, and I'm one of the first visual practitioners in my country. And since 2015, I was working and focusing mostly in business and I was trying to deliver a value with a special psychological touch, because I'm a psychologist. I'm not an artist. I have never learned how to draw. Nevertheless, right now I'm helping to grow. I'm helping growing a business for my clients. But you know what? Interesting thing is that here in Poland right now, the most popular is to to invite visual thinking in education. So I'm mostly focused on education, and because business is fun, it's a great thing. But after graphic recording really huge and prestige conferences, I realized that there's something more important, and those are my kids, and I want to create a world which is convenient for them to communicate in a visual way. So, and I will try to do my best to do a graphic recording right now. And of course, if only I can contribute with my experience, mostly business experience, that would be great. That would be perfect.
Agata, one question. How are you tackling the educational system? So is it more for training educators? Are you training students? How are you implementing?
I'm inspiring and training mostly teachers, because I think the basic change should be, among their perspective, their way of thinking. Because it's really easy to work with children, but you have to know how to do that. So mostly I'm making a lot of Facebook lives. I'm really active in social media, and that's amazing because more and more people are into it. And right now I'm also having my online courses for them. So I just finished I'm just finishing my own book for teachers, so it's quite a lot to do, but I'm really motivated to do that.
Is everyone seeing the chat? So just type in what your value proposition is. So what do you offer to your customers and how you make your living?
Sorry, Marko. I am curious about Evelyn's story because she says in the chat that she has been working with visual for 10 years. So I would like to know how everything, become to today. Any changes in their business model, in their value proposition?
I do work as a project manager, and that's with the boss. So I do get paid every month, and this is just my way to be a project manager, and I get hired by governance, and mostly local government, to do this. And it's my way, so I can solve any problems they have with drawing as a project manager.
So you use visuals more as a tool, not as a
yeah, it's a tool. It's not my main thing to do. It's just it's a tool. Yeah.
And would you say you are a visual practitioner then? So just from your way, how you sell yourself in the market?
No, that's not the way I sell it. I just use it when in groups like this, so I can talk to you. That's it. Yeah, but it's not how I sell myself.
Okay, so it's a project manager with special abilities then.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Anyone else here in the call who's not working as a visual practitioner, as you would say, having a different job, maybe a teacher, and just using it as a tool?
I will say hello, guys.
Hi.
I'm Domenica, and I will say that so far, since I got to know about graphic facilitation at the Chaos Pilot, I start using it for coaching and project management and for process facilitation. But I'm just starting to design my business as a graphic facilitation, so I would like it to be my main focus, but so far it has been just an add-on. Yeah, and I'm exploring. I found like this meeting is super cool because it's quite a challenge. I think that in the broader sense, business models has been like about competing and how do you create something that is not in the old paradigm, something that is better than the others. But from what I've perceived, having studied the network of graphic practitioners, that is not about competition, and that's what I like about this new field, that the people that are coming in are really in the mindset of let's collaborate together, let's work systemically. We cannot compete anymore. There's no way forward like that. So I love, and I put on the chat that the biggest value I see we can all bring is to acknowledge our uniqueness, our gifts, and also to find out what are the systems we can work with. I will be super interested in hearing why would somebody not hire a graphic facilitator. I think that will give us some hints of unmet markets.
Yeah, you mean facilitator or recorder, or
graphic facilitator? I mean, that's what I'm interested in, because I want to work with process change work. So I think that a way to develop a value proposition is to understand the reasons why you would not hire somebody with that focus. Part of it.
Yeah.
I can share just one story that happened today. There is one consultant that worked with one big company for two years in a, let's say, transforming their culture, right? The different coaching sessions and strategic meetings and so on. So the thing is, after these 2 years, this guy was to give like some conclusions to these teams. So he met and he gathered with the different teams. He gave me just today lots of information, and we develop or we create some kind of world where they see each team, and they, let's say, like it's like the output of all the process. So everything that happened in the past 2 years is some kind of crystallized in these pictures. So it's just in the end of the process of a change process in the company that you somehow, I don't know how to say this in English, but it's like, ping, and you finish the work and you get some kind of outputs in a great way. I see Vanessa laughing. You know what I mean, right? Let me ask another question. I see Mina over there, and I know she has also a great story to share, because she's, well, that's what I think. She's not the graphic recorder, but she has like a network of recorders that add value, and you somehow coordinate everything. You get the clients and you put the graphic recorders. You are always with them. You share everything in social media. So I would like you to share also your story, how you work with this team and so on.
Thank you. You hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, great. Thank you, Javier, and hi, everyone. So nice to see you all. What a nice Wednesday evening this is. I just managed to prepare my tea and just had a very Swedish sandwich with cheese and cucumber. Okay. So, yes, 2 years ago, I decided to dive into this field. I was a newcomer. I just knew that I have a lot of experience from communication and marketing, and I've been working a lot in workshop situations, trainings, and business process development. So this field sort of merged my life in a way. And I started out with a business model that was quite, so as I have experience working in Europe, especially from Brussels, and working across countries for many years, I started working across Europe and built a European agency for live scribers. And I started to make connections with different people, getting to know people and getting to know the field, and being in pretty much every gig that we got. I was there to learn and see how things were working out. So after a year, realizing that having one assignment per month won't pay my bills or anyone's, I decided to start focusing more locally. And I think many of you also have this experience that you go quite widespread, and then you start realize where you want to be, who you want to work with, in terms of like the people that actually do the stuff or that you collaborate with, and what kind of clients that you want to work with. And somehow you start to specialize. So in fact, this year, 2019, I am now building a core team that I'm working more closely with, and they are mainly here in Sweden, because I sort of decided that, okay, I need to start from the inside out. So I'm focusing a lot on the south of Sweden. We're the only agency in Sweden still, but I don't think that we will be it for long. I would be surprised if there's not another agency coming soon. The market in Sweden is quite fragmented still. Like, there are freelancers working, but I think maybe that will also organize soon. And what I wanted to say, yes. Okay. So after working 10 years in different corporations, I also have 10 years of experience working in the restaurant industry, and especially as a bartender. And
that helps.
yes,
to mix colors.
yes, exactly. That's one point. And no, but I really enjoy working with people, and I've sort of, it's always been in my DNA, and that I think that experience and also kind of like made it more of a natural thing. So what we do when we take on a project is that we take care of every single touch point with a client where we have a possibility to make a relationship and to give a feeling of trust and closeness also. For example, you come to an assignment and it's on the day, and so there are parts like you enter the room and you say hello to the clients, you say hello maybe to the speakers or the participants. But this process of just saying hello to the people and connecting with them is the one of the main things. And then also during the session, of course, keeping the relationship with the participant. I know it's not, I mean, you have to be there and focused on putting things out, especially if you're maybe just live scribing, not just, but if you're not facilitating. So maybe you have your back against the people, but still it's important to somehow keep a connection with people. And afterwards, being very service-minded and like talking to people, you know, this relation, I think the core of our business is this relationship building in these little details, I would say. I don't know if you can relate to these parts, or because I know also, for example, that of course, like after a full day of being there, it's not maybe so easy to start like cut and just like start to be very social and so. But anyway, so let's say that this is one of the core things of our business model.
Nina, one question. Those small details are included in the price? Are for me to create a better relationship? Yeah, does it make sense? The question is, it like, it's something that because you like to do it, you offer that, let's say, for free, some kind of added value, or is it something that you also add into the budgets?
Okay, I don't add it to the budget. We have a pretty good level. So in Sweden, we are not above, we're not down. It depends a little bit, but we're quite average. So it doesn't go on the budget. What I would like for our clients to feel like is like that they are stepping into a Michelin star restaurant. This is the feeling that I would like for them to have. And this is at the core. And this has nothing to do with, I don't expect them to pay more for that. It's just how we like to work.
And how you're doing it, Mina, if you are not, so if you're the graphic recorder, I can assume it's quite difficult because you're busy all the time. So it's then if people of your agency are working with the client or already doing the live scribing.
Yes. So in 95% of the cases, I'm there as an extra resource and doing all of these like soft parts. Yeah. But in the cases I'm not there, and also this is part of why I'm maybe now working also more closely with some people is because we have this sort of way of working, I suppose. That's so how we can do this together, and how I can, especially how I can make that easy for them to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to hear your reflections on it also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to build new business if you can spend enough time. So from my perspective, I know it, I'm always too busy. So really into that. So really to look around at what's there, if it's on a big conference. And that brings me to the next point. As a graphic facilitator, graphic recording, in most cases we sell our time. So if you go to an event and we spend a day, so we charge for a day, maybe a bit of preparation time, but there is some limit. So basically, if you have only 5 days a week, and depending on your rate, you can bring it up maybe to 3,000, 4,000, whatever's possible, what the market will give you, but there is a limit. And the question is now, from my side, do you have any other sources of income in the field of graphic facilitation or graphic recording, or as a visual practitioners? What are different ways to build up a business model which you would like just to share, so just to explain a bit, if you do something different than just or than offering your value by hours, basically?
As I said, we have different value propositions. So we try to make at least 1 video or 2 per month. Okay, and let's say we have kind of fixed rates for videos. Then also we try to have 1 or 2 graphic recording events where we gather, or where we take more clients. It's like our way to take new clients. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say 2 videos, 2 graphic recordings, and then we have some kind of long-term relationships with companies where we have let's say, how do I say, like a pool of hours, let's say like 100 hours or 200 hours or 500 hours, depending on the length and the impact of the project, or the time of the project. So somehow we try to have some kind of continuous relationships that give us money, to survive, or to make this sustainable. And then we have also some let's say more one-time income or one-time projects.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So we focus on the long term with big companies, and then we focus on the short term with more small companies or events.
If you sell products that do not need your working hours anymore, so they are just defined and you can give it to the market.
That's what I did. 2 years ago, I just create my own online academy, sketchnoting academy. And every time when I'm running some workshops in business for CEOs, I also offer as additional value this kind of product. And the funny thing is that they want to pay me more. And first I was even able to offer it for free, as you know, as a gratis, as a bonus. But I realized that actually they want to pay me more.
Which
so
kind
I
of
will
products?
not stop them.
Can you show it, Agata? You have it there?
Right now, just give me a second.
I think that is always interesting to see the products that are offered.
Right now I'm on my maternity leave, so guys, funny story. Few months ago, I was graphic recording C bloggers. It's kind of event for bloggers, vloggers, and influencers. So I was just networking and mingle among the clients when the owner of the biggest and the oldest polygraphic industry in Poland just ran into me, and we start talking. And I just was the right person in the right moment. because I asked them if they are interested in making some new products. I mean, more popular, more fashionable, and so on. And I asked them if they know what bullet journal is. You know bullet journal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, professionals, right? So I asked them if they were considering putting some extra value for their clients, and for instance, put some sketch notes inside and patterns. It's like how to say it, templates for bullet journals and so on. And they asked me if I can design it. I have never done it before, but I said, okay, let's do it. So we create products. It's like 8 versions of it. And right now it's spread countrywide, actually. So it's there is 300,000 shops in Poland of this shop, this client, and in everyone there is some of my bullet journals. So it was just the sparkle of inspiration. How would it looks like if we add something more? And you know, frankly speaking, making some new graphic, it's not such a deal for us, right?
Yeah.
So I think we shall be open just for new opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's also a nice way to showcase your work. Maybe in that case, also books are a very nice thing. Eva Lotta, you are also in. I saw many nice books from your side. One I was especially very interested in, and I bought this yoga series. You just can tell a bit about products you offer, because there are some very special things in it.
Yeah, it's funny because most of my products were actually just byproducts of things that I did just for myself. So in 2010, I think I self-published my first book, which was just a collection of all the sketch notes that I had taken at technology and design conferences that I had gone to. And I had also put them all on Flickr, and at the time there weren't that many people who actually did sketch notes. But as I have a very short attention span on the internet, I thought it would be nice to have them to also offer them in book format, so that you can just sit on the sofa without a computer and actually look at things. And so I did that for 4 years. Every year I self-published my sketch notes from that year, because I went to a lot of events. But that was really not, I mean, the purpose of it was not for making money. It was just like, well, it's easy to self-publish a book and do it print on demand. And then I did another book, which were my sketch notes from doing a 4-week improvisation training, and I did a 200-hour yoga teacher training. I took notes there as well, because, well, there's a lot of content that you have to digest. I made a book out of that, and out of that came actually the first book that I actually wrote that has content in it, which is not other people's content digested in a visual way. So during the teacher training, I drew a lot of yoga stick figures to kind of capture sequences and explain or alignment and all this kind of stuff. And of course, that's much easier when you make a little sketch rather than describing it only with words. And a lot of my fellow students in the teacher training, they were saying, oh, can I take a copy of your note, or can I take pictures? And I said, well, yes, I'll scan them all for you, that's fine, but what would be even better is if you can draw these notes yourself, because they're a great tool for planning classes and capturing sequences and things like that. And like, yoga stick figures are not a new thing. There are people drawing yoga stick figures, but when you draw certain postures that are easy to draw when you just look at it from the side, like Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. But then there are also certain postures where it gets a bit more complicated, where you have twists or where you look from above, and there were no real solutions for that. And because I love systems and figuring things out, I just refined the stick figures that were already there and put them into a system that makes sense for me and that can basically capture all the kinds of movements that you do in yoga. And I wrote a little book, and I self-published that as well. And actually the German translation is going to come out in a few weeks. I just translated it into German because I wrote it in English.
Yeah, and it's a really nice one. So our kids, they love it. They love yoga, and they have it, and it's an electronic book, so we printed it out. And I think it's also a nice way having such products to reach different people. So I know it from my field. When I start with graphic recording, so you have always all this innovative people there. So they are really interested in visual stuff, and so, but to get people that are not in that bubble yet. So and a product could help there a lot. Like yours, if you come with yoga, then you bring visuals or visual techniques or services in a market that is not aware of it. And I think that's a very interesting thing.
Yeah, it is actually quite interesting. For me, it's a bit of a little experimentation field, just because it's a very narrow target group. I mean, anybody who's interested in yoga could sketch yoga sequences, but the target group really is yoga teachers and people who are learning to be yoga teachers, especially people who are learning to be yoga teachers. They seem to benefit from it quite a lot. Also, recently I had a lady contact me who saw the Yoga Notes book or bought it, and she does horse riding training and Western riding. And she was like, I wish there was like a system for that. Can you also draw horses in that way? Yeah. Because and then she sent me a couple of videos of this Western horse riding instructor who explains how to steer a horse with your legs and with your arms and with, I don't know. And so I made some sketches for her to explain that, because I'm in general, I'm fascinated by systems and trying to figure out a system for communicate a particular area of knowledge, and there are a lot of things that you can transfer from one area to another, but every system has got its particularities where you know where you have to pay attention to. So this is something that fascinates me in general, and I like transferring it to different areas and figuring out what is the specific thing that needs to be communicated in that field.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I think we can later on also add the link to it when we share the video on YouTube, so that people find the examples what we are discussing. There was a comment from, I think it was from Domenica. It was about that's not always the product. When you draw, it's also the process. So we should put emphasis on. Domenica, will we just unmute if you just share your thoughts?
Hello. So I mean, since I come from this process facilitation background, and also just in my personal learning journey, I've come to realize that it's a lot about being aware, like taking one step at a time, day by day, and that one find so much more joy in life and also in the people we work with. When we don't say like, oh, you draw amazing, but like, hey, that was a really great process, good job. And as we validate others, also for ourselves. So I think that there's quite some limitations with, I mean, books are amazing. I find really admirable what Eva was doing with these yoga figures. yet I think that one of the biggest impacts we could have as visual practitioners is what Mina shared with like the relationship.
Yeah.
Because we are drawing relationships, and as we are drawing relationship with our pen, we are drawing relationship with our being, with our way of interacting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we are not coming in interaction with a system just to harvest.
Yeah.
It is we are moving way more layers than just that. And I think that's the thing that cannot be measured by money, but is having a huge impact.
And that's a really good point. And I face that situation often when I meet clients the very first time. They ask, how do I know how it is? So really, so I'm asking you, is there a possibility to really experience what's behind that before you have experienced it? So really, for a customer, I have no idea graphic facilitation. You tell me it's good and it's great, but yeah. So how to show it, how to really show the value of it, the relationship. Maybe so I'm curious if any one of you has a special way of doing it if a person can't see you before or experience you.
Marko, if they contact you by phone, it would be great because you have a good voice. So, no, just kidding.
But when I show the visual, the end visual, for example, from a facilitation session, it looks rather, they would say, it has they can't see the process, they see the result. And for them, it has no meaning if it's not from their context, if it's the vision from a car manufacturer and they are in a different field, say, it's nice, but to be honest, I pay for this thing, whatever, 2,000 euro. So really to show the process, what's behind that. So that would be interesting. I think their products can help a lot to if Agata is saying to show the system, or also Mina is a way of building the relationship beforehand. So really somehow show what the value is, and not only the result. And I see it also on Facebook groups. We see only the result, but not somehow the way. But I have no solution for that. How to show the value.
Have you seen Simon Sinek's the Why, How, and What?
Yes.
Okay, so if you think about it, it's brilliant, of course, because you have to start with the why you're doing it, and it helps people, it helps you to sell in your beliefs in what you're going to change in people's lives, or how you're going to have an impact, and then how you're doing it and what you're doing it. So I think that those three steps or parts of your business is really important to think about. But he was missing one thing. In the very, very middle of this circle of the why, how, and what, you have the how, the who. Because it starts with the people. It starts with who you are and the people that you work with. So you cannot build a why and a how and a what unless you start with the people. So I think that would be my warmest recommendation, to start with what is your value as a person, or the people that you are working with, either you yourself as an individual, your collaboration, your network, what is your strength as people? That would be one thing.
Okay, so
good point, Mina, because I just want to share a short story. My coworker, Natalie, my teammate actually, she always tell me that anytime that I go to a client, I mean, it doesn't matter what I share, what I say, or anything. I mean, just being there and transmitting, right, the energy, the passion, the purpose of our work. We create that confidence just with all these, say, soft skills, because they don't know what's going to happen during the process, what's going to be the output of the process. Let's say they trust on me and on my energy, let's say, right? So that's also one advice when you go to a meeting. Go with, I mean, like, I guess you all go, but like passionate with about your work, right?
Yes, totally. In the end, the client will choose you because of you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are like 2 or 3, you know that they have to take in different bits, and so you have a relationship with them already, and they like you, and you have something in common, they will choose you. And especially what you're talking about, this energy, it's super important.
Mm-hmm.
Not always easy to have that energy every day, but what I try to do is that when I have a really important, so I get a request, and actually this is one thing also maybe that can be helpful. I never send a quote without talking to the client. Maybe this is
Let me hear.
I think that's an important, or an advice, a good advice. So not so, because many people are asking us, send me the numbers. So how much does it cost? And so how you explain them to them that you first want to talk.
I just say, can I have your number? Or I just call them if I see their number in the email. And I just start talking like, quite openly.
So in the chat, Marie asked to share something about the why. And I think that's important when it comes to value proposition. So I would love to hand over to Marie if she can just share her thoughts.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't find the raise your hand button. That's why I typed.
Okay.
I just, because you were talking about the circles and the why, I just thought about that today. So I decided to focus only on sustainability and environmental clients because I also have a background in that field, and I like sort of experienced for a long time that that somehow helps my clients to decide. If they know that there's like a million graphic designers or illustrators, graphic recorders or illustrators out there, and she is the person who comes from the field. But today I realized that this is actually what I'm selling there is, it's not really about that I know anything about that field. I think what I'm really selling here is my why and my values. So I think the connection to the value proposition, I'm a bit like selling that what Mina said, it's me, this person who has this values, wants to save the world, and this is often what people buy when they buy me, because they could just as well hire any other graphic recorder, and they could just as well do a great job, great quality, but somehow I think it's about the connection and that they share my value and that they share my vision. And so my field is just one field there, but I think getting this why clear and communicating it out, to the outside is really important to stand out, and also to help people connect and choose.
Thanks for sharing that. So maybe just because we are almost at the end of the session, if you could just take the chat and type in your why, or if you have a specific area, if you have it already, because I think it's a good experience to see where the others are in, so which special topic they cover, if they have some niche or something. So if you just type it in, or if you have a story to share at the end, I'm more than happy if you just speak up.
I know that my why sounded super like broad, but it's more of a vision. And I figure the role of graphic facilitator as I'm kind of like a divergent thinker, and I figure that that's my vision, and that's the role that I want to take part on in moving towards that vision. And the areas that I'm exploring as a market are kind of eco villages, like Tamara and other small communities are moving into sustainability, and also helping developing movies. And what I can harvest from the conversation today is that we following our passions is really adding to the value proposition. So our gifts, but also what we're curious about, because that's the being and the becoming. So like Eva loves yoga, and she found a market for that. Agata figured that she loves education, and she found a niche for that. So I think it's a sweet balance between looking what is out there and then figuring who we want to work with. And then I think there is a space for everybody to contribute and bring our gifts forward, as long as we're honest with ourselves, who do we want to work with. And owning our gifts.
Yeah. So concentrate on what you love and be honest with yourself and the others. I think that's a quite good point. So the products will come out of that. And yeah, I think that's a good start. But really to take the business model canvas and fill it with ideas, because I think before you can fill whatever canvas, you need to have some starting point. And also when I'm going to the chat, I see many different ways of explaining what people are doing, and I think it would be so helpful if we also could bring that into the community in Facebook, in order to really make it special what we are doing, and that there is such a diversity in the field. So just feel free to share it as a kind of an end round for today's meeting.
I think there's a lot going on at Visual Practicing at this moment. And I think people and organizations have to learn what you can do with it. And there's got to be a shift along the time, I think in this year and 2 years, that people will understand what some visual artists will bring and what the other will bring. So I think it's a matter of time for people to know what's available and what they want. And I don't know the guy's name, but he said just bring me the guy that draws. I think that will change. And I think we're the ones to teach people what the change is. But I think it needs time. So
absolutely, and a good press out there. So some interesting articles, books, but I think we are on a good way.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of, at least in Holland, I'm from Holland, a lot of courses and people who say I'm a trainer, and there's a lot of difference in that as well. So that has to settle down a bit, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else who wants to share some lost sentence for today?
So a picture is worth than 1,000 words. Right? There we go, Agata. I was waiting for that. Nice.
Very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say thanks to Marko and the organisers for the webinar, and also to say it really helps to have a clear purpose for your business. It was good to hear a few people who were offering them earlier, and thanks for sharing that. And our purpose is knowledge transfer and helping that. So it's been good to think that through while you've been talking. Thank you.
It was great to have you in there. As usually we have this recording. We will cut it, upload it into the YouTube platform, and share the link also in the Facebook group. I think together with a nice recording from Agata, it will be a good value for everyone. Maybe to connect together to get new ideas, and we had nice ideas for today, nice connections, and I really get some new inspirations, and I thank you for that as a group. And have a great evening, and see you soon.
Yeah. I just want to remember, but there will be some new information about the Prague meeting, right? EFVP Prague meeting. So I also would like you all to see there. I'll do my best. I have booked my agenda to go there and also make some kind of short holidays. So I would love also to see you all there.
Yeah, in Prague, is it? I'm looking forward to see you soon.
Thanks for coming.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego, Mónica.